5 lessons from the pandemic. This is Philip Montrose here. My wife and partner Jane Montrose and I, we help people step up, tap into the heart of success and soulful living with holistic coaching and healing. And in this short video, I want to share with you 5 lessons from the pandemic. And the pandemic, of course, has created a lot of losses, multiple losses, which is part of the challenge. It could be a loss of our health, a loss of our freedom, emotional turmoil, income instability. So there's a lot of things going on at once, and this is teaching us certain things. And the first lesson of the 5 is increasing love. Yes, love, even with all the culture wars that it creates such a furor of division, not that that's not still going on, this big retreat that hopefully we're coming out of in the pandemic, is opened our heart, that divine aperture, as Richard Bartlett has called it. And we can go deeper into a heart space, a heart intelligence, a soulful awareness of who we are and our kindness and compassion and courage coming from that deeper place of more grace and more gratitude, much to be grateful for. And it also optimizes our brain and open heart because we can focus more using reason as well as our imagination. And that opens the brain as well as opens the mind and the heart. Second lesson from the pandemic, having a purpose. Yes, a purpose. Finally, now we can discover and realize our purpose if you haven't already. That is using the raw materials of things that you are good at, your talents, your interests, things you want to develop. Use those to go beyond self, goals to help others. Yes, it's important to survive and do things, you might say, egotistically or self-serving. That's part of life. And that's necessary, but you want to at some point go beyond it, and that makes your life much more fulfilling and richer. We know a person who was very good at craftsman and building things and carpentry and such, and he was donated thousands of dollars by some people of power tools. They didn't know what to do. They said, here, you like this stuff. What he ended up doing with them is making designs, carvings for a psychological group he was. They're sort of metaphysical designs that the people in the group were really drawn to. They were quite beautiful and sold. So part of his avocation became his vocation. Your purpose may not become your work, although it may as well too. But it's what your skills and interests, the raw material, using that in crafting a wonderful life, in doing so a wonderful destiny. Third lesson from the pandemic, finding and building community. Well, following up on lesson 1 about opening your heart, you're going to want to genuinely care for others, and this may be online at this point in time, especially online relationships, sometimes called we spaces. We like to call it soulful spaces, connected spaces, where deeper truths can emerge with other people you relate to. And in finding and building this community, here are some words, some thoughts to reflect on that. Be open, support, share, inspire, beyond right and wrong, collaborate. Fourth lesson from the pandemic is taking care of ourselves. If you're not in good health, you're actually much more at risk for any kind of illness, including a virus. And that's been shown too, comorbidity, as it's called, about being overweight or having health, diabetes, blood pressure problems, and the like. That is going to put you much more at risk. So an acronym we like to use, or I like to use, is SEDS, S-E-D-S, for taking care of yourself, good routines. S is sunlight, get daily sunlight. E is exercise. We like to walk our dogs in the morning, and that gets sunlight and exercise, among other exercises, and continual movement throughout the day. D, diet, find the diet that is right for you. And S is sleep, get proper sleep and good sleep hygiene. So that's taking care of yourself, and you want to also take care of yourself emotionally and mentally, have a good mindset, have a positive framework. And I'll talk a little more about that in the upcoming moments of this video, as in the next lesson, finding hope and trust. Finding hope and trust. This is a tough period, Philip. It's filled with uncertainty and unknown and fear and Yes. And amidst that, if you go into that, you can find the trust, the things you can count on, trusting in the unknown, in uncertainty, going deep into that unfolding, let it emerge. Be still with it, and that opening your heart, as we talked about earlier. And as the saying goes, a Middle Eastern saying, we can trust in God, but tie up your camel. Tie up your camel first, trust in God, as the saying goes. So be practical when you hope and trust. Do things in a grounded way, and you can let the light shine through and have more hope and trust, even amidst the turmoil and the challenges and the losses. And last, I'd like to say is a key quality to cultivate in yourself is resilience, bouncing back, coming back. When something gets in your way, when you get knocked down, you find a way to get back up. Years ago, my wife and partner Jane became so sick during her work as an architect at that time. She couldn't even go to work. It was a kind of chronic fatigue. But eventually she recovered, and it took us on the road of becoming coaches and healers and pioneers in personal transformation, helping many people, writing many books and doing many trainings. Who knew that was where it was going to go? But we followed our heart. We took the next step. That helped facilitate our purpose. And we became resilient. We kept it because a lot of things didn't work out. There were a lot of trials and errors, but the errors turned to be part of our destiny and part of the resilience of building that inner muscle. And another aspect of that is what's called being anti-fragile, a phrase you may or may not have heard of from Nassim Taleb, a philosopher and economic sage. And by that it means being so robust, so adaptable that you can use disorder and chaos, like this time especially, and use that for a positive purpose. You can take advantage of the chaos and uncertainty. And there sometimes when things are so disarrayed, you can see things differently, you can create differently. Opportunities will emerge if you're open to it and learn these 5 lessons as I've been sharing. So those are 5 lessons: using resilience to catalyze it all, increasing love, having a purpose, finding and building community, taking care of yourself, finding hope and trust, and using resilience. Hopefully that will enlighten you and find the truth in your heart, the love in your heart, and let that emerge and ripple out and transform yourself and the world.